Well, hey, Rad Kids parents, it's Pastor Brandon here up at our North Campus in one of our classrooms. This is our 3, 4, and 5-year-old kids classroom, basically the pre-K. It's time for us to start a new series, but I want to give you a couple of things before I actually go into our new series. First thing is this. Remember, we have back in June, we aligned all of our kids' classrooms are going through the same curriculum and series and Bible stories all at the same time. So usually I do 2 videos. It's going to be 1 video. My prayer is that hopefully going forward, it's just 1 video for elementary and early childhood. And I'll try to break it up so you can kind of go through it and watch what's important for you. Fast forward, I'll put some chapters, kind of help you out. So just know that for those that are around, have been around our church for a little bit, you know that we send these videos out to partner with you to give you the curriculum before we go into a series. Those that are new to Radiant, we're so glad you're here. We're so thankful that you have joined our family here. We do these, just like I just said, we send out the videos because we know that you, as the parents, are the primary disciplers in your home. You get more time than we do with your kids. So we want to give you what we're teaching before we ever start. So there's no hidden agendas. There's nothing's in secret. You don't know what we're doing or what we're teaching. You have everything. So I'm going to show you that in just a minute, but we give you the information ahead of time so you can teach the kids and have these conversations at home before we ever teach it. So when they come here, it's the second time they're hearing it. And they're like, oh man, my mom, my dad, my grandparent, whatever, they just told me about this. They just taught me this. And that's awesome. That's what we want. Okay. So the second thing before I get into the curriculum is this. Move Up is right around the corner. So August 3rd, say August 3rd with me. That's right. It's our Move Up Day. So all of our kids, that's the coveted day that all of our 3rd grade kids, and then some of these kids that are moving up from pre-K, it's the day that they've been waiting for. The 3rd graders moving into 4th grade now, if they want to be a junior helper, they can go through the process of joining the Rad Kids junior helper team. So that's exciting. But for our kids moving into kindergarten, going into kindergarten in the fall, the next 3 Sundays, we will be doing tours if you are choosing for your kid to move up into the elementary class. Now, you say, Pastor Brennan, you said choosing to move up. There is an option. Yes, we understand that each kid is at a different level and a different stage in maturity. And so we have some information that will help you make the decision that's at the door when you come to drop your kid off or pick your kid up the next 3 Sundays. There's information that gives you kind of an idea, like talking about our Rad Kids store, what that looks like, how they earn points, how we have them do Bible verses and look up Bible verses. And some kids we know going into kindergarten are not just there yet when it comes to reading. And so there's a number of different reasons why your child could stay for another year in the pre-K class. This gives you information on that, and there will be a paper at the door that lets you know, you sign on there and let us know, hey, I want my kid to participate in the tours. I want them to move up, or maybe you want them to stay back. Okay, that's all about Move Up. Now let's get into the actual curriculum. And let me, before I go forward, please ask any questions, whatever campus you're at. See Miss Sandra, see Pastor Richard at Central Campus. Come talk to myself here at Central or at North Campus this weekend. If you have a kid who is moving into kindergarten and you have questions about that, let's talk about it. Please, no questions off the table. Okay, back to the curriculum. Okay, remember, with the early childhood, this is what the outline looks like for your parents that have kids ages babies, basically 0 to 5-year-olds until they move into kindergarten. This is the outline of like what it looks like. It has the date and what we're teaching each week, what commandment, because the Big Ten is all about the 10 commandments. Then for the elementary kids, it looks like this. Now, in the email you're getting this video, you will receive all this information. There's a link that says parent resources. You click on that, and there'll be one for early childhood and one for elementary, and you can go and check out the lessons, okay? We're even putting the actual class schedule, an official lesson for the early childhood is what this is for, of what that looks like. Now, 10 Commandments. We all know this. Those that have been around the church for a little bit, and frankly, most people who have nothing to do with church have heard of what the 10 Commandments are. They're God's guidelines and instructions that He gave to us to live our life. So we're going to teach these kids. We teach the kids this about every other year. We don't teach it every single year, every other year, so that we don't make them bored. We teach them other things along the ways of like foundational things. The Big Ten is one of those foundational series. So the next 10 weeks, we're going to take your kids through the 10 Commandments. Starting this weekend, August 13th, all the way through September 14th is when this series will end. Okay, so let me talk to the early childhood parents first. So like I said, you have this that lays it out. And remember, when we aligned in June, elementary, early childhood, same Bible lesson. So it's the same Bible story. You're going to have the same conversations in your home if you have a kid who's in early childhood and in elementary. It's going to have the same conversation about the same Bible story. You're going to hear it. You're going to be able to ask them the same questions. Also in that parent resource folder that you're going to find is a take-home page that is going to basically give you like a family devotion that you can do together. And it's broken down by the week. So each week there's a different one. Okay. So early childhood parents, there are the 10 Commandments we're going to teach. You'll be able to tune in, but the stories, I'll talk to the stories together, the specific Bible lessons. I'll talk to you early childhood and elementary. I'll talk to you together. But let me talk to the early childhood. With the Bible verse, we're going to focus on one verse for these younger kids so that they can memorize it. The elementary kids are going to have a different verse each day or each week. But obviously, we're going to actually go through the 10 Commandments and focus on Exodus chapter 20 when it comes to the actual commandments. But in the early childhood, the Bible verse is from 1 John 5:3, and it's loving God means keeping his commandments. And there's motions that we have with that. It tells you what they are on here. Loving God means keeping his commandments. So for time, I don't want to go through all those motions, but you can see it on here. And we'll go through these stories. We'll teach them. And there'll be there'll have coloring pages that will have the commandments each week. There'll also be some different crafts that we do throughout this series. Just depending on the week. And there's also some visual elements that we have that we'll utilize to help teach the kids. Okay, so then in elementary, we'll be teaching them, like I said, different verses each week. But the whole idea and focus is that we're focusing on the 10 Commandments. Okay, so now let me talk to the Bible stories for both parents. Okay, whether you're early childhood or elementary, focus in on this, and let me give you the stories. Okay, so the very first week when we teach commandment number 1, God is number 1 in my life, we're going to teach that from the Bible story of the rich young ruler, which is found in Matthew chapter 19, verses 19 through 29. Okay, so I will put God first. The second week, we're going to be teaching about worshiping only God. Obviously, I won't worship anything more than God. So we're going to teach that through the Bible lesson of the golden calf in Exodus chapter 32 through chapter 35. Okay, so I'll worship only God. Then the third week, July 27th, we're going to be teaching about using God's name in the right way. I will not use God's name in vain. I will honor the name of the Lord is specifically what we're going to teach them. And we're going to teach that from the story in Acts chapter 19, verses 11 through 20, and this is the story of the sons of Sceva. This is a good story. It's a good story for the teaching of this. It's a good concept that the kids can grasp. So that's it. I will use God's name with respect. Then week number 4, which is the 4th commandment, I will keep the Lord's day holy. Rest on the Sabbath day. So we're going to teach them through the very first Sabbath in Genesis chapter 1, where God rested in the creation of the earth. So we're going to teach them through that story. So I will rest on the Sabbath day. And moving forward is respecting your parents. So parents, you'll love this one, right? But I will honor and obey, and I will do what my parents say. So we're going to teach that through Genesis chapter 22. Isaac obeys Abraham. So another good story about obedience and what that looks like. I always say in our house, and maybe you've heard this before, immediate obedience is what you're supposed to do. Anything that's contrary to immediately obeying is disobedience. And so just just a little parenting thing that we have in our household. So there's that. I'll keep moving forward. August 17th, we're going to teach the kids about do not murder, the sixth commandment. I will respect the life that God has made, and teaching that through the story of Cain and Abel. What a crazy, harsh story, obviously, with what happened between those brothers, but it teaches the point. Genesis chapter 4, verses 1 through 15. That's where you can find that story. Okay, moving forward, August 24th, we're going to teach about being faithful in marriage. When I get married, I will stick with them for life. That's going to be taught through the Bible lesson of Joseph and Potiphar's wife, found in Genesis chapter 39, verses 1 through 12. Okay, moving forward, August 31st, we'll be talking about stealing, so I won't steal other people's stuff. We'll be teaching that through the story of the sin of Achan, which is found in Joshua 7, verses 1 through 26. What a good, again, these are good stories, not in the aspect of they're good, like good stuff happening, but they teach the points. So I will not steal. Then moving forward to September 7th, I will always tell the truth. This is about the commandment of do not lie. I will not lie. And we're going to use the story of Ananias and Sapphira from Acts chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. For those that do know that story, that story doesn't pan out very well for them. But, just speaking to that for just a second, we're going to be appropriate with the kids. But we're also going to help them understand this concept, but not say, man, if you lie, you're going to die. God's going to take your life. No, that's not what we're going to teach them. But we'll communicate with them so they understand that idea. Okay, then the very last one is do not be jealous of others. September 14th. So I will say no to jealousy. And we'll teach that through the story found in Genesis 37, where Joseph, his brothers, they are jealous of him. And this story, plays out pretty, not the best, obviously, for Joseph as he's walking through it, but God redeems him. But the whole idea is that I will say no to jealousy and teaching them what that means. So those are the 10 weeks. I pray that this helps you. Please give us any feedback as we go through this. I can't wait to hear the testimonies of what happens in conversations from your homes and your kids, how this impacts their life. Please reach out if you need anything. Please don't hesitate to ask us questions or let us know if there's something that we can do or how we could partner with you. And anyways, I pray that y'all have been having a great summer, and I hope that you have a great week. We'll see you this weekend.